think I like a bit more North Korean dating type because they way more honest and they don't make me confused and they are very more forceful. Here, losing everything means there you got so much. You got your freedom, you're not gonna be starved to death, but losing everything in North Korea means you literally can lose your life. In North Korea, you can never do those like online dating. Hi everyone, I am back. Today in this video, I am going to talk about dating in North Korea and also comparing to dating in America. Luckily enough, I was experiencing tiny bit of dating-ish in North Korea and a little bit in South Korea and in America obviously. So, I would love to compare them and share with you so you guys can understand North Korea a bit deeper way. So in dating in North Korea has evolved like everywhere in the world, but I do think it's like a little bit big step for North Koreans. So let's begin with my parents' generation who were born in 50s, 60s, 70s. During that time, mostly it was arranged marriage, but even it was like dating marriage, they could never be able to, living together or getting to know each other. They just like maybe exchange a few letters, but that was it. For my mom's case, she was set up through her own brother, and my father was a friend of my uncle. So he told his parents and how about setting my friend and his sister together. And one day my grandparents, both sides met and they decided a date. That's how they became married. So before they got married, they didn't really hold even hands, not even mention kissing. And I asked my mom, I was like, so mom, why did you marry father? What about him did you attracted to? And she literally said this, oh, I didn't hate him. So that was enough reason to marry. Like here, in order to marry someone, like not hating that person, but you gotta be a good friends, you have to good chemistry, you guys have to be a soulmate. Picking a life partner is so hard here. Then back in those times in North Korea, your standard was so low. As long as you didn't like terrifyingly hate them, it was more than enough to be wed with those person. And then, so let's talk about my time. I was born at the end of 1993, so we call our generation as a black market generation that has experienced, marketization and foreign information. So we have been influenced by foreign movies. So I watched Pretty Woman and dreamt of, a gentleman. And a lot of my friends also saw South Korean dramas. They were romanticizing, sweet South Korean men. So we were a bit more idealistic when it comes to romance. And I think we absolutely expected more from the other person. But the thing is, in North Korea, in my time, it was very hard for women to initiate. So we always had to waiting for boys or men to act first. And also in our tradition as a woman, you have to be way more conservative and reserved. So if the guy asks hey, I like you, do you wanna? So in North Korea, when you say I like you, and that doesn't mean, that means you actually want them to be your girlfriend. And that also means you want them to be your future wife. There's no separating between dating material and marriage material. Whenever you meet somebody, you always link that person to your life partner. So I was so shocked when I came to the West. They say, oh, she's for just dating. And what do you mean? And oh, we kiss, we do a lot of things, but we're not really girlfriends and boyfriends. What are you talking about? In North Korea, there's no such a thing. There's no such a thing hooking up was so, I never heard that. Like I never heard the one night stand. So if the guy, even that you like the guy, he asked me like wanna go out and ask me to be his girlfriend, as a manner I had to say no, like for at least 3 times. So guys have to keep going, ask and ask. And I think I like a bit more North Korean dating type because they way more honest and they don't make me confused, and they are very more forceful. And there's always pros and cons, but in North Korean context, they are way more pursuing the relationship in men's side than women most of the time. And women always have to be in a position where like we reserved. But the problem is that when women actually really don't like the guy, so we say no thank you, I'm not interested, but the guys think like we're doing it to be polite and being a good proper woman, so they keep trying and even like women get horrified by it, they keep trying. So sometimes like guys can be physical, so they keep asking women and they say no, then actually sometimes like literally beat women as like if you don't become my woman, I'm gonna kill you. And like we don't have place to call or talk to the police, there's no way like we can get help. So a lot of women actually I know be married to those men out of those kind of physical threats. So as I said, guys, there's a pros and cons there, right? That's not the most romantic side. And the other one, when you try to break up in North Korea, if the guys were not absolutely there and the women go like, I want to break up with you, if the guys really don't like the idea, they can just like beat you up. So breaking up is like a bit dangerous for women when they do it. But when guys like, I want to break up with you, usually like women, what can we do? We cannot like beat him up. So it is a little bit more risky for women to date a North Korean man, and there's a higher chance to be, beaten by your man. But again, like another pros and cons. North Korean men in general, they are way more responsible. They take the relationship way more seriously than men here. I think the thing I don't like about dating here is people think about dating such in a light way, and they are more like interested in having fun. Oh, like she's fun, I want to have fun with you, I just want to have fun, but I'm coming from North Korea, where I always view the relationship is the most important thing. Family value is like #1 priority in my life. So if I see someone that I started develop feeling towards the person, of course I want them to be my like husband and my life partner for the rest of my life. But for Americans to take from there to here takes years. You guys started hanging around, taking a time to define who you are, like boyfriends and girlfriend, taking another few years to be engaged, and then you live together, and then another year or two to get married. It takes like forever to go there. And like me, someone who is just not used to it, I just couldn't handle the American dating culture here. I'm sure someday I will get used to it, but still not. I'm like struggling with, like you're dating for just dating's sake, and you gotta find somehow other way to find someone to marry. Another thing is like when people date these days in North Korea, in here, you like literally fall in love with everyone, right? Doesn't matter your ethnicity or your language or your race, and like nothing matters, or even status, economic status in the society. But in North Korea, your family 성분 status really matters the most. Even if you love a person so much, your family status doesn't match. That will affect your future forever. So the only tricky thing about North Korea's 성분 status is that there is the only way to go down. It's extremely hard to go up. So let's say I was like low caste because my father was a prisoner. So, and my relatives, some of them have been to jail. So I was like in a low status. And then if I meet a guy who was really having high status, I don't come with his status go up, he comes to mine. So it was like almost so many Romeo and Juliets in North Korea, and the young people, they know their love cannot be achieved in North Korea because of their different family status. A lot of times they even commit suicide together because they cannot fulfill their love together. It's really so sad. Like we heard, I mean, when I was in North Korea, we hear these things, these young couples, they love each other so much, but the family was really, hating it and against it, so they eventually commit suicide to prove their love to each other. And it was like, for what sake? Like, what even family status means in this 21st century? Like in my case, my first crush was, he was in a very higher status than my family, and the girls who knew him told him about like my father's prison history and how low stress we were, and he didn't get deterred by that. He said like, oh, I'm still gonna marry you, it doesn't matter, love is all enough for me. And that, I think, time was the only stream of light that I saw in North Korea. There was someone that selfless existed. Like here, losing everything means still you got so much. You got your freedom, you're not gonna be starved to death, but losing everything in North Korea means you literally can lose your life. So in even that extreme situation, I still found somebody that selfless in the face of love and true love. And I still think of him because what incredible person he was. And even in most harsh, like evil and distrusting, like oppressive country like North Korea, there are tons of good people like that who are so willing and such a huge heart. Now I have so many girlfriends who are trying out dating, and in America, guys, like you do a lot of online dating, but no, not in North Korea. Of course we don't have internet, so not to mention like online dating, right? This is like, I never done the online dating, so I don't know how actually it really works. I just see from our friends. I looked at Tinder and she told me like, swipe this way, swipe that way. But in North Korea, you can never do those like online dating. So usually people you can meet is very limited, and usually it's from your own town. So you can like meet people in the train. You can meet people in very random places. And I think there's some kind of romanticism to that, though. You never know where you're going to find love. It's not as efficient as online dating here, right? Like you tell their height, the race, and income level, education level, all of things you got like selected by algorithms. But in North Korea, in a way, you are way more open-minded to who you can meet or even where you can meet. So I think whenever I hear from love stories from my people in North Korea, is way more like interesting and surprising than people meeting here. It's like, oh, just I went on a like coffee meets bagel, we just grab a tea and then something dinner like that. Lastly, like how North Koreans date each other. So here you guys go for a drink or dinner, movies, right? But in North Korea, we don't really have those like fancy movie theaters. We don't even have a 24 hours electricity. So usually where we go date is like really sweet. Like we go to like Riverside, or we go to the train track. Not many trains passing by, train track. Or it's very not a good thing to show to neighbors that you are dating someone. So we really have to hide. So we we don't really go hold hands and dating around. We have to find a place when it's dark, secretly seeing each other, get a quick glimpse of each other. And we still do a lot of writing letters, physical like letters. So I I think that there's definitely pros and cons, but I do miss those kinds of simplicity and purity in a relationship sometimes. Anyway, it was so much fun to share dating culture in North Korea, guys, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you. Bye bye.